Okay, it's me again, and it's April, Good Friday, and this is Encouraging Words number 10, and we're in 2 Timothy chapter 3. We're going to be reading verses 1 through 9. I posted already the Easter sermon on YouTube, so you should be able to have that one already. So here it is. 2 Timothy 3, verse 1. But mark this, there will be terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not lovers of the good, treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power, have nothing to do with them. They are the kind who worm their way into houses and gain control over weak-willed women, who are loaded down with sins and are swayed by all kinds of evil desires, always learning but never able to acknowledge the truth. Just as Jannes and Jambres opposed Moses, so also these men oppose the truth, men of depraved minds, who as far as the faith is concerned are rejected. But they will not get very far because in the case of those men, their folly will be clear to everyone. In this particular passage, we have Paul explaining to Timothy that the last days, and that's a very interesting phrase, last days mean the end of times, that he will experience the end of times. And in the end of times, there will be people that he will need to avoid. These are very, very conceited people. People who have a form of godliness, like you look on their surface, and they appear to be very righteous, but inside, they're selfish. They try to get things for themselves. They are lovers of money. They're proud. They're abusive to other people. They show disrespect to their elders. They lack self-control. They're not lovers of good. They're lovers of pleasure. And they have problems with authority. They have problems with God's authority. They want to be the authority. And so, Timothy, you need to avoid these people. Now, you remember in the Old Testament how Jannes and Jambres opposed Moses because they didn't like him being an authority. They wanted to be the authority. Well, they were opposed by God, and God won the day. So, Timothy, you need to be careful about these. They'll be rejected. Be careful that you don't fall into the trap of accepting them and then being swayed by them in their rebellious kind of ways. They want to pull you away from the only authority that is God. And Paul was writing to them because Paul was writing to Timothy because he knew that he had a very short time to be there to influence Timothy, and he wanted to make sure that he was on the right track. So, Paul is in Rome. He's in a situation where he's under house arrest, trying to encourage Timothy. He has something very powerful to tell him. He's writing this to Timothy, and he tells him to be very careful not to be swayed by people who have a evil agenda. And I would encourage you to do the same. You have to watch out for people because they have in their minds this idea that they're not really out to do or to serve God's will. They're trying to see how many people they can sway and move toward their opinion about things. They want you to side with them, and therefore their power is more, and they feel more self-important, and they can oppose the authority more. And it's just a bad thing. In churches, when this happens, it causes splits, it causes dissatisfaction with the eldership. It's just a bad thing. So Paul was trying to warn Timothy not to be taken in by people who seem to be righteous but are just so very selfish at their core. They're pretty easy to spot. All right, I hope you have a good Easter weekend. I hope this is over real soon. We'll see you. Bye.